When someone does a video on Andrew Tate and look at the thumbnail and go, she likes me. She's hot.
Yeah.
She's fine.
Do you know what?
Bunnies love.
She's like, I hope he's talking about me right now. I'm praying he's talking about me. I mean, this woman is like the Little Mermaid. She's like, a whole new world, a new horizon. Andrew Tate, will he love me so? Oh, does he know? I mean, that's literally what this woman is. This is ridiculous. Hello, America, FBI and CIA agents and fellow cult members. Welcome to Culture Club USA. I'm Debrava. Today's episode of OnlyFans on Trial is about London psychiatrist Sadia Khan. But the online community claims she's a Khan, while the Muslim community calls her haram. But is she just an international groupie chasing every hairy Dick and Tom? Okay. For those of you who are not familiar, Sadia Khan is a name that has become a world-renowned relationship expert due to her trending podcast appearances and large presence on YouTube, where she has over 600,000 followers. Okay, many positive, but there are a growing number who feel that her credentials are fraudulent and her advice is generic and cookie cutter. Now, I was introduced to her from this particular clip on Access Vegas featuring some of the current titans of the Manosphere, like, of course, Rollo Tomasi, Michael Sartain, Fresh and Fit, and the Saint and the Sinner. Now, they predictably have a negative impression of her, and this is what sparked my interest to do a deep dive on who is the real Sadia Khan. Let me play that clip for you right now. Let's get into it.
Guys, real quick, I have a video I want to play real quick, and this is it's to your point actually.
Okay.
To highlight what's happening right now, Rollo.
This was what truly high-value men do. They pick wisely. They pick super wisely. They're highly selective with the women that they choose. And then when they've chosen her correctly, they spoil her endlessly. They put her through the ringers. It's like, you know, when you go to 6-7 rounds of an interview to get into those corporate jobs, they make you go through interview after interview after interview, a bit like going to a Harvard application. When you get to Harvard, they treat you well. Your life is set. But up until that point, they put you through it. What Fresh and Fit teach is take any kind of woman and then don't give her too much, play games, treat her harshly. That's not what high-value men do. They've got a reputation. They can't just take any old girl and then try and train her. They ain't got time for that. They take a woman who's been well-trained by her family. This is what truly high-value...
So I just did a reaction video to this.
Can you believe that?
Very clip. So here's the thing. Here's where Sadia is incorrect. Because what she's saying might have made sense like 50 years ago, but she believes that there are these high-status men that have this plethora of good women to choose from, and the statistics show us different. And I think because Sadia is not a man trying to be with a high-status woman, I don't think that's...
And she is not a legal psychologist either. We have established
I don't think...
We'll give her a mic.
Pay attention to what Rollo said. I got to roll that back. He's saying she's not a legal psychiatrist. He's saying psychologist. So maybe she goes back and forth.
Be with a high status woman. I don't think that's...
And she is not a legal psychologist either. We have established
I don't think
we'll give her a mic,
fraud and
we'll give her a mic.
I don't think that's from her standpoint. She doesn't see it enough. I understand in a vacuum that sounds great, guys. Well, here's what we need to do. Let's all just have fucking high standards, and we'll all just have good traditional women that'll come to us. But then but that's not reality. In reality, we'll walk around and we'll meet some really fucking hot girls, and they're fucking crazy. And then we have...
I think it's...
Actually, wait. Let me just say this. I'll give you reality. What reality is that high-value men are not going to a dive bar to pick up women like her, okay? Let's just get that straight. That is not how this works, okay? Her whole notion of, they choose wisely, and then they put them through the ringer, and no. 1 minute she says their family raises them right. No. Okay, this is how it works with high-value men. The women come pre-vetted, okay? Because they come through networks of people like family, friends. That's how that works. So there is no putting them through the ringer because they're already vetted. You understand? You're not just going to a dive bar and picking up some random chick. That's not what high-value men do. Okay, we shall continue.
Harder for you to meet a traditional woman than Joe Blow on the street.
I agree 100%. And you know why I agree? Because
you were
that
there?
bitch does not know what the fuck she's talking
Exactly.
about. And that's who people are, because...
I gotta bring that back. I have never heard Rollo Tomasi speak like that. Maybe I'm not watching him enough. Clearly, he does not like her.
And then Joe Blow on the street.
I agree 100%. And you know why I agree? Because
you were
that
there?
bitch does not know what the fuck she's talking
Exactly.
about. And that's who people are, because she's pretty, she's got big tits, she has no degree in fucking, she's not a clinical psychologist. At least Jordan Peterson has a degree in clinical psychology, okay?
I never asked women for dating
So
advice.
what happens is she gets popular by riding you guys' jock the whole fucking time, right?
For a while,
And again, anybody who watches your show knows she's full of shit. There's no big titties here. They're not flaming, they're not red, and they're not, on fire, So
yeah, I mean, if you're a female making any type of like dating type content that has any type of alignment with Red Pill, you're gonna go viral because it's like, oh shit, we got a girl in here that like agrees with us. Oh my god, this is awesome, and they just circle jerk. But the reality is, with her is like, I just keep it down. She's a cloud chaser, man.
She's a cloud chaser. She's a cloud chaser. Now, first of all, I want to talk real quick before I let this go any further about the psychiatry degree. Now, I actually did a very deep dive on her. And there are threads and threads and threads and threads on Reddit about how her degree is fake. They're saying that it's much easier to actually create a fake or false degree because the rules and standards of it in other countries, you can't really tell. It's harder. It's not like America. So there is a lot of talk about her being a literal faux psychiatrist. All right. So just saying, let's see what Myron has to say.
Oh, this is awesome, and they just circle jerk. But the reality is, with her is like, I just keep it down. She's a cloud chaser, man. She been talking about us for fucking years, man. She begged to come on her shit. Like, and I was like, nah. When we were in Dubai, on multiple occasions, I turned it down. This is the first time I've ever revealed this shit. And I was just like, nah. Like, if you want to come, you got to bring some other chicks with you. We're not going to bring you on.
I'm bringing that back. This is very important. Now, I'm taking you on a journey here, okay? Because I already know the answers to the test. Listen to what Myron is saying. Myron is saying that she begged them to go on Fresh and Fit, and they turned her down multiple times, okay? Remember what I'm showing you.
Agrees with us. Oh my God, this is awesome. And they just circle jerk. But the reality is, with her is like, I just keep it down. She's a cloud chaser, man. She been talking about us for fucking years, man. She begged to come on her shit. Like, and I was like, nah. When we were in Dubai, on multiple occasions, I turned it down. This is the first time I've ever revealed this shit. And I was just like, nah. Like, if you want to come, you got to bring some other chicks with you. We're not going to bring you on. That's the fucking truth. If I'm going to be all the way at 1,000, and I got the proof. But like, she's been coming at us for fucking years now. At this point, well over a year, just saying all this bullshit, and it's just like.
But she's a traditional woman, right? She wants the exact same
She's
thing.
unmarried, she's on camera,
30s.
promoting this, like she understands our lifestyle, but she doesn't understand anything. By the way,
They're saying she's a single mother.
like she understands our lifestyle, but she doesn't understand anything. By the way,
she's a single mom.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I was looking up her degrees. There's Reddit. There's Reddit.
I know she's pushing 30 and single.
After thread. Yeah, I know she
can't. But it's crazy, bro. If you try to give really good advice to men, it's very ugly to the public. We're like, hey, you know, remember, don't listen to exactly what she says. Pay more attention to what she does. It's very ugly to the public.
Okay, so that was the first clip. Now, listen, remember what they said. So you have Myron talking about how she was begging for over a year to come on Fresh and Fit, and they've turned her down multiple times. You've got Rolo saying that she's got a fake degree, okay? And now, the next clip I'm going to play you're going to find very interesting, because this is a clip of her on Pearly Things, on Pearl's podcast, expressing her disdain for Fresh and Fit. Now, remember, Myron just got through saying that she was begging them to be on the show. Let's take a look.
What was the next thing you said?
Women can't. What was the other things that you were saying? Women think with their feelings, so they always say things like "fuck your feelings." But my argument is, if we know women are designed to have more emotional intelligence, we produce more estrogen, we produce more oxytocin. We actually, by design, more emotional. Why would that be an insult? It's like saying to somebody, "Oh, you're disabled. Fuck your legs." Like, no, you're designed that way. Why is that used as an insult to women?
Are you listening to what she's saying? This woman is proclaiming to be an actual psychiatrist. Pay attention to what she's actually saying. She's saying that women are emotional, basically, and, women exercise feelings, and, she's making excuses for feelings being reality. Listen closely.
actually by design more emotional. Why would that be an insult? It's like saying to somebody, oh, you're disabled, fuck your legs. Like, no, you're designed that way.
And who makes a statement like that? What kind of doctor would even make an analogy like that? You're disabled, so F your legs. I mean, her mouth is just unbelievable.
Why is that used as an insult to women?
I mean, I think he's just talking about, like, a lot of times women think their feelings are reality. So girls on the show will come on the show and say, this is how the world is because of how I feel, basically.
But that is her reality because that's how she's designed.
Are you listening to this? That is her reality. So your feelings are reality? No. I'm sorry. Feelings do not equal reality. That is not how life works. You cannot go running around telling women that if you feel a certain way, then it's the truth. Okay? No, I might feel like there's a tornado outside and that, I might be having some delusion. That doesn't mean there is. What is she talking about? What kind of psychiatrist goes around telling women to make decisions based on emotions?
Biology.
But I don't think he's using it as an insult. I think he's just saying it doesn't work in a debate when you're talking about
but
topics.
It works in a discourse. If you're going to communicate to women and men are going to communicate with women, that if they don't recognize that women exercise feelings and women don't recognize men exercise logic, they'll never be compatible.
Do you hear this? Bunch of word salad. Nothing she says makes sense, okay? But look at her. She's extremely beautiful. Right? She's got this voice and, it rocks you to sleep. So it looks the part. It sounds the part. But what is she actually saying? Nothing. It's all psychobabble.
Don't recognize men exercise logic, they'll never be compatible. You have to talk in that language.
I think he knows that women exercise. But okay, like, this is an example of you as a woman telling men how they need to talk to us. And it's like you're trying to dictate like how men need to say things, but that's not how men do things.
But if
men talk how they talk, and so it's like, why would I go to a man and say you have to talk like a woman?
Because
like you're feminizing
if I'm a man, and if I've got a son as well, I know I have to speak to him from a place of logic for him to understand it. He won't understand if I talk to him in time.
Wait a minute. So if you have a son, you have to speak to him from a place of logic. Okay. That sounds practical, but you can talk to your son and understand logic, but you can't talk to an adult man and speak logic to them? What is she talking about? How does this make sense?
Emotionally. So if you come to me as a man with a problem, I will say, me and Nathaniel talk all the time, and I'll give him practical advice because he's a man and I speak his language. He will give me more emotional advice because he recognizes I'm a woman. That's how we have intelligent discourse.
I've been giving you logical advice.
You does give me logical advice.
That seems quite
that's
strong.
That's how life works.
Yeah, but not overall. But not overall. That's your experience. That's your experience. Like, this is exactly what.
But that's how healthy discourse is established.
But I have this problem, and this isn't a you thing. It's just like a thing. I hate it when people come on and tell me how to talk on my podcast. It's like, if you were so good at it, then you would do it and you would make it bigger. And so it's like, how are you going to go to them and say, oh, I know how to talk?
No, we're not saying that you don't know how to talk.
Not me. I'm talking about in this example for Fresh and Fit.
Yeah, Fresh and Fit.
Because I've been in this situation where, like, a girl will say, I don't like the way you, like, they'll be like, oh, I don't like the way she does this. I don't like this. I don't like whatever it is. And my first thought is like, how delusional are you? If you could do it better, you would.
Because it's not about doing it better. It's about offering an alternative perspective. I don't care to do it better than Marlon or Andrew.
But my point.
This is funny. Did you hear that? Marlon or Andrew. Marlon. Now she doesn't know the name Myron when she was begging them to make an appearance on her show. Okay. She's a clout chaser. She's a clout chaser.
Perspective. I don't care to do it better than Marlon or Andrew.
But my point is they know what they're doing.
If we have this platform, we should use the blessing of it to improve lives rather than divide people.
But they do improve lives. That's the thing. Like they do all this
MGTow. We want to create homes and we want to create 2-parent households. Me watching a bunch of
Isn't she a single mother? She's talking about 2-parent households. She's a single mother. And how is anything that Fresh and Fit or, the Manosphere, how is anything that the message that they put across wrong? They're a bunch of men telling men how to better themselves. How is that a bad thing in society?
feminist or him watching a bunch of red pills, we are going to come back with negativity towards each other. Whereas if we take those platforms and teach people how to communicate effectively and create a home, we are doing more of a service to society.
I've been talking to different like wives and homemakers.
So it's a disservice to society to help better men, self-improvement. But if it was a woman doing it, that's okay.
That are going to teach different like classes for it's going to be fun. And one of them literally said she teaches women like fuck your feelings, it's not about your like this is something a homemaker of 30 years teaches women, fuck your feelings, it does not matter how you feel. And so it's like when the women say it's okay, but the men
I agree that you can't make decisions on emotions, but emotions can't be entirely ignored because it's how we're designed. If I teach a man fuck a woman's feelings, what kind of father will he be? How will he raise a daughter?
I don't know. My dad, that's kind of how he...
What kind of father are you... Those guys are in the comments saying, fuck feelings, fuck women. What kind of father are you planning to become?
This is a single mother that's speaking. I have to say this. This just cracks me up when you have women like this, okay, that run around from podcast to podcast on world tours from country to country talking about rearing children when they are not even rearing their own. And she's talking about a family and she's a single mother. Like, I don't this woman makes absolutely no sense.
It's not even that. It's more just like, how happy are you even going to be?
But that's in the context of a debate. Again, that's in the context of a date.
If it leaves your mouth, it's in your soul.
Contextual.
What?
If it leaves your mouth, it's in your soul. Like if I say fuck men, men are trash, even if it's in the context of a debate, it's in my soul.
No, but again, like this is context. Like if he's saying fuck your your feelings don't. You can't. Your feelings are not like, what do they say? Facts over feelings, right?
Feels over feels.
And so that's the point. That's
sorry. But did you see when they?
Pearl, facts over feelings. Okay, feelings do not equate growth. Okay, that's not how life works. Do we have feelings and emotional days? Of course we do. But to just make statements like her, it doesn't make sense. That's like saying, oh, I'm, 400 pounds and the doctor told me not to eat ice cream, but I ate ice cream because it made me feel good. Oh, I didn't go to the gym today because I didn't feel like going. It's like, come on. Just because something feels a way does not mean that it is good for you.
That's the point.
Sorry, but did you see when there was a fight that broke up and a guy and a girl, they hit each other and stuff? I saw one clip of that.
I didn't see that.
There's a clip on Fresh and Fit, and there was a guest and a girl next to him, and they got into a physical fight. The guy started hitting the girl started hitting the guy. I think they both hit each other.
On the air?
On there, yeah. They had to stop filming. And I only know it because I watched Adam Soscast, and he, who I love, he spoke about it. He had them on a set, and he had one of the girls that was in the set, and she said, "Oh, I just felt really unsafe in that moment." And Marlon was like, "Fuck your feelings," because she wasn't in any danger. What is it?
It's Myron.
Myron. Okay, fuck his name. But he's.
What a mouth on her.
Fuck his name. But he's.
You feel that in your soul?
No, I actually don't mind him. I just think it's, it is what it is.
Look, I think it's just communicating effectively, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you want to communicate quicker and effectively, it's nice to just know the shortcut. Okay, cool. She's not going to take how I'll speak to the guys about it. She's going to react this way if I do it this way. And obviously, if you're on the alpha in a situation, you can kind of force your way. So like you can say fuck your feelings and maybe she'll just shut up. But are you really resonating? Is she really understanding, or is she just shutting up because she doesn't want to speak up?
And are you actually creating a relationship in that moment?
I just no offense. I just think you have no business telling them how to run a podcast when they're.
Pearl is funny. Pearl is obviously bothered by her, probably just as much as I am, because this woman just annoys me at this point.
I just think you have no business telling them how to run a podcast when they're at 1 million subs. I just think I would never go to an NBA coach and like, as someone who like, I don't know what you do with your platform. I don't know how big it is. I know you probably don't have 1 million subs.
Yeah, I don't. Because I don't appeal to the vulnerable.
Again. So I just would never go to someone and tell them how to do it when I'm here. I just think there's a level of humility in that.
No, I know what you mean. I get what you mean, but the point, it depends. Are you out for clout, or are you out to make a difference in people's lives that's positive. I don't care if I have 0 followers. My mindset will always be, let's be balanced so that we can create a
then why
thing.
have a following at all?
Because it does help the people who want to be helped.
And how do you reach the most people?
Through the internet.
Okay. But I'm saying like you could help people
through the internet and your faux psychiatrist degree. That's how you reach the most people.
The most people
through the internet.
Okay. But I'm saying like you could help people in real life.
But
you
there's
could
people
just
out
go
there that
like
will,
I just think it's disingenuous when people say that because it's like then go out, then don't be on social media.
But you help more people when you put your positive advice on social media.
And they help more people the bigger they get.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that clip, we've gotten past the point where we've surmised that she does not like Myron, she does not like Fresh and Fit. But I'm going to tell you something. I find that extremely odd because Fresh and Fit are close friends with Andrew Tate, and apparently, she is a big fan of Andrew Tate. Now, how can that be? Because Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit basically have the exact same message, okay? The same sentiments. There's no difference. They're synonymous, okay? They're exactly the same. But we're going to dive into that later. Now I'm going to play you another clip of her on Pearl, okay? And she is expressing her feelings on Andrew Tate. Let's check it out.
Tate, sweet. Top G.
Well, what do you guys think of Andrew Tate?
I don't mind Andrew Tate. I just don't really like his followers. I really don't have a problem with Andrew Tate. I think if you are a successful...
So let me bring this back. If you don't know who Andrew Tate is a big part of the Manosphere Red Pill community. I'm going to show you a clip of what he's all about right after this, so you'll get to understand what his message is, okay? But listen closely to what she has to say.
I don't mind Andrew Tate. I just don't really like his followers. I really don't have a problem with Andrew Tate. I think if you are a successful man who does well and you understand the dynamics of men and women, he's become Muslim now as well, which is, I'm Muslim, so anyone that becomes Muslim, I'm like, go on then. I don't have a problem with him. He's obviously speaking from his own lived experience, and this is how he gets women to behave around him. But he is a successful man. He works out. He's got money. He's got all of these things. So he can talk with his chest. What I don't like is that nobody kind of guy that follows him and then starts adopting all of his values and starting having this really angry attitude towards women and be like, and that's what it almost...
You think he's angry?
Not him, but I think his followers are.
What's Andrew Tate's values to you?
What do you mean by that?
Like, because you said they adopt his values.
Okay, values as in like, women aren't like, this is how you should treat women. This is what women like. This is how you get them to submit. This is what you do. But you can get that level of submission when you're that level of guy. But if she's not...
I hope you're paying attention. So you can get that level of submission when you're that level of guy. Listen to the words she's choosing when referencing her feelings on Andrew Tate.
Level of submission when you're that level of guy. But if she's not submitting to you, you're either aiming too high or you're not successful enough as a man.
Also, I want you to just look at something. Look at her body language when she speaks of Andrew Tate. Okay? It's very like, you see? It's when she's talking about Myron and Fresh and Fit, she's got, she's closed off, it's a whole different body language. When she speaks about Andrew Tate, there's a glow about her, which makes absolutely no sense to me. And you'll see why in a second.
You said they adopt his values.
Okay, values as in like, women aren't like, this is how you should treat women. This is what women like. This is how you get them to submit. This is what you do. But you can get that level of submission when you're that level of guy. But if she's not submitting to you, you're either aiming too high or you're not successful enough as a man.
Okay, so let me point a few things out. So she cannot stand Fresh and Fit. She hates Myron with a passion, okay? Demises him. But she has absolutely no problem whatsoever with Andrew Tate. He can say what he wants. He can do what he wants. His behavior and the things that he says gets women to behave around him. He's allowed to say it with his chest. All of that is fine, right? Okay, now I'm going to play you a clip, a recent clip of Andrew Tate sitting in the presence of Fresh and Fit, okay? Myron is also sitting next to him, and let's see what Andrew Tate has to say. He goes on quite the soliloquy about modern-day Western women. Let's check it out.
Far too long since we've done a Fresh and Fit.
Yes, it's been a very long
All
time.
these women are out of control again. Again. Running around, being haram, talking about traditional values that they need. They sit down and say, you know what? I need a man who makes $100,000 a week, and I want a man with traditional values, and he's a masculine man who's going to take care of me, and he's going to marry me. Bro, you're a hoe, right? They all want to get married now. They're all trying to try the tradcon route. No, I want to get married. I want to get married. You don't want to get married because you want to be a man's wife. You want to get married because you want to show off on Instagram. You want to publicly cuck the man, put him in a position of servitude and slavery. You want him to get down on one knee, and you want to get a photo of it and a big fat diamond, and you want to wear a dress and look pretty, and you put it all over your Instagram and say to all the other hoes, look what I got my slave to do. My slave gave me all this shit. When some dude who had a bus pass, few years before, a bus pass and no hopes.
So let me just point this out. I hope you're taking this in. You see the one on the left here? That's Myron. That's Myron from Fresh and Fit, who was on the very first clip I played you with Rollo Tomasi, Access Vegas, okay? And she cannot stand Myron. But here we are with Andrew Tate being extremely harsh. I mean, look, Andrew Tate is known for being extremely harsh. He has no problem saying it exactly how he sees it, which you can clearly hear for yourself. And she's fine with all that. But he says the exact same things as Fresh and Fit. Their messages are exactly the same. They're very close friends. You can see it for yourself, right?
Look what I got my slave to do. My slave gave me all this shit. When some dude who had a bus pass, few years before, a bus pass and no hopes, managed to get in between your legs and take the fucking gold. For free! They're letting you fly planes. They're letting you fly planes. That's a mistake. They should not let women fly planes because women panic under pressure. Anyone who thinks women can be a pilot, I have a simple test to you. Go get yourself a nice soft ball so they don't get hurt. We don't want to hurt anybody. And say, think fast, and throw the ball at them and watch them panic. Do it at a man, he'll move, he'll dodge it, he'll catch it. Throw it at a chick. Let me ask you, if you're on a plane, it's turbulence, you're going through the sky.
Just real quick, let me just ask you, does this sound like a man who is concerned with women's feelings? Does this sound like a man who is concerned with women's feelings? I'm going to go with no.
It's turbulence. You're going through the sky. Things get rough. Lightning striking, etc. Plane starts getting out of control. Do you want your pilot to go? No. You're now in a desperate scenario where you must quickly and urgently become rich enough to buy your own plane, or a woman will fly you around. That's effectively suicide. What else has happened?
Okay, so let's just talk about this. So she despises Myron, who's sitting right next to him, but she's a big fan of Andrew Tate. Just keep that in mind. Now is where it gets good. I'm going to play you a clip now of her on a show called TK Talks with Andrew Tate sitting right across from her. Pay close attention.
We've got the man in the room now.
Yeah.
I've never really watched a podcast with him with two ladies facing him. Ooh. And I saw in all the press, he's like, I've had to defend him because I know him very well.
Yeah.
He's a misogynist, he's that, he's this. Have you ever seen an issue with him? I want to know, as a woman. Now you're on the camera. This is going to go out. Go on, tell the world I'm horrible. You're going to both have your opportunity from everything you've seen.
Look at her body language. I have to bring this back. Just look at this. Look at how giddy. Look at the smile on her face. She's leaning into him. She's open. Okay? Now, this is a man who speaks the exact same way, if not way harsher, than Myron, who she despises. How could you despise Myron but be a fan of Andrew Tate? Can you explain that to me? How does that make sense? Look at her. It's like she's eating ice cream for the first time. I mean, this is nuts. Look at this smile on her face. All right, I'm going to let it go now.
I've had to defend him because I know him very well.
Yeah.
He's a misogynist. He's that. He's this. Have you ever seen an issue with him? I want to know, as a woman. Now you're on the camera. This is going to go out. Go on, tell them what I'm horrible. You're going to both have your opportunity. From everything you've seen, edited, non-edited.
Yeah.
What was your issue or what's your non-issues with
The
it?
first time I saw you speak on something, I remember I wasn't really watching the TV. I just heard it in the background. It must have been on my phone. And I heard you say something. And I was like, is that guy Pakistani? And then someone was like, no. I was like, he's definitely Pakistani. You were saying something that was very...
Are you listening to her cadence? Listen to how she's talking. She's like a kid in the candy store. What happened to the other thing? When women in this and listen to, oh my God, they get Pakistani, and I thought he was Pakistani, and I said, oh my God, is that guy Pakistani? Oh my God, are you getting this? No, I just cannot get past the fact that, look, we're talking about the manosphere here. These men speak to men. Okay? They don't like OnlyFans models. They don't like whores. They want traditional conservative virgins. Are you getting this? Both of these people, Andrew Tate and Myron and Fresh and Fit, Rollo Tomasi, that's what they're about. They want real, wholesome women, high-value women, okay? Look at this woman. How could you despise everything that Myron says when he is saying the exact same thing? Their ideologies are exactly the same, Myron and Andrew Tate. How's that possible?
Familiar for me. I'm Pakistani. So I was like, he must be. And then I found out you grew up in Luton. So I was like, that makes sense. Everything he says, I'm so familiar with it. I would expect nothing less. The men I'm around would think exactly the same way. So I don't find it shocking or misogynist. I'm raised like that.
She doesn't find it shocking, a misogynist. I'm raised like that. Now all of a sudden, it's okay for him to be a misogynist, but you know, it's not okay when Myron does it. She can't stand it when he does it. Everything they do on Fresh and Fit is wrong, but it's okay here because I was raised. I'm not shocked. I was raised by misogynist. Are you getting this?
I agree with it. That's not about what you're used to now. I'm asking with what.
And listen to what the host said, okay? He said, I'm not at, listen closely, listen.
He's like that.
But do you agree with it? That's not about what you're used to now.
Do you agree with him? It's not about what you're used to now. Do you agree with him? Watch how she's dodging these questions.
That's not about what you're used to now. I'm asking with what his stance is.
Yeah.
Do you agree as a woman? Because he gets a lot of backlash, but he made a good point.
Yeah.
I've been around him nearly every day sometimes.
Yeah.
I've never seen a woman in public come and say something bad. So I want to know, who are these women? Is it a movement? I want to know because I've never seen anyone say it to me.
One thing, I would say sometimes it can be divisive. Like what we're saying, nice guys finish last, but sometimes nice girls do. And I think let's try and remove the division and focus on society rather than just men have this really bad. I get men have it really, really bad. But society is shit. Women have it bad in some ways, men have it bad. I think women are becoming more and more detrimental. I think that, but it's not really entirely their fault. It's the way society is now structured. So I think let's try and...
What is she talking about? Can anyone make any sense of what just came out of her mouth? I mean, she's flustered. Andrew Tate is sitting across from her. I mean, she's fumbling. It's like she's fallen in love. She wants to take him home. She's dreaming of Andrew Tate. I mean, she can't even speak. She can't even speak anymore. Her whole spiel went out the window.
I think that, but it's not really entirely their fault. It's the way society is now structured. So I think let's try and less this division and more how do we fix this? Because I want to see families. I want to see, and so
now she wants to see families. She doesn't have one of her own, but she wants to see families now. Yeah, because she's dreaming of having a family with him. That's what this is about. That's what this is really about. This this goes to show you how fake some of these people can actually be. Okay, this woman is like a fake Oprah. She's an Oprah wannabe, a faux Oprah. Tell women exactly what they want to hear. Give them all the worst advice. Doesn't matter. Just make money, get clicks. Then you get in front of Andrew Tate. It's like what? It's like Oprah. Oh, I'm going to lose weight the right way. I'm on Weight Watchers. Now, Ozempic comes around and she's like, oh, girl. She's like, I'm not doing Weight Watchers when I could just put an injection in my stomach and have it do it for me. You get what I'm saying? It's nuts.
See families. I want to see, and sometimes what happens is it's not you, but your followers. I always say your followers are this.
Now she's coming at his followers. Now, don't forget, she hates Andrew Tate's followers too. I mean, I'm sorry, Fresh and Fit's followers too. They're all the same, by the way. Fresh and Fit's followers are Andrew Tate's followers, just so you know.
I always say your followers are this loser guy who's never had options, who now starts saying, fuck women.
Did you hear what she just said? She's talking about Andrew Tate's followers, saying your followers are this loser guy who's never had options. Who speaks like that?
Who's never had options, who now start saying, fuck women, and it's like, but you haven't earned that status. You can't speak like that because you haven't done the legwork it takes.
She's dissing the war room, bro. She's dissing your...
Now, the war room, those are his followers. It's the war room and I think Hustler University, okay? Those are his followers. That's, that's their little group. It's their little man group. She doesn't even realize what she's saying right now. Do you realize that? Because she's so enamored with him sitting across from her, and all she can think about is taking him home.
Your Hustlers University, bro.
No. I get they're putting in the work, though. They're in some way putting in the work. But it's the
so now they're putting in the work. 1 minute they're losers, and now they're putting in the work. What is it? What is it? I mean, this is a psychiatrist. Really?
I would know, not putting in the work, who's just listening. The problem is when your message lands on men without money, it doesn't land properly because they're just saying, I want lots of women, I want lots of hoes. But it's like you can't fund those women and you can't get those women to submit to you. So you can't emulate Andrew Tate, but you want to. And so that's where we need to kind of educate them. In order to have your views, they have to have your lifestyle.
Valid.
Yeah.
That's very valid. And I feel like I do say it a little bit, but I need to say it more. But
watch how she is disarming him. Did you see? Okay, you saw the clip of him sitting with Fresh and Fit, talking about hoes and that's why women shouldn't be pilots and F your feet, all of this stuff. No, hoes and this and modern women, right? Look how this woman with her shiny hair and her little, oh my God, and her voice, and look how she just disarmed Andrew Tate. Okay, this goes to prove that flattery works, okay? Because obviously he's flattered. He's even floored by her. I mean, I can't even believe no pushback from this woman. Nothing. No pushback. Nothing. He's just sitting there like, yeah, I do say that too often. Listen.
Them, in order to have your views, they have to have your lifestyle.
Valid.
Yeah.
That's very valid. And I feel like I do say it a little bit, but I need to say it more. But I say repeatedly that if you're you're male, you can't. Life sucks, and I agree with you about the divisive thing as well. Yeah. The only reason some of it comes across divisive, I think, is because a lot of the time, especially in America, I'm arguing against rabid feminists, right? So I'm trying to say, look, blah, blah, blah.
Look, I think that for hold on, we're gonna get into the redhead. He's talking about rabid feminists as if she's not a total utter feminist on every other show. Everything is about women, their feelings, their emotions. You can't do this, you can't do this. You can't just pick anyone off the street and just tell them and do the... I mean, I've never seen anything like this. This woman has some kind of spell. She does have some kind of ability. It's definitely not a psychiatry degree, okay? Maybe black magic. I don't know.
Say, look,
Look, I think that for you to be as famous as you are today, you had to do things in a certain way. You had to be extra controversial, and now you got here. I think the reason a lot of the women were pissed off because it's kind of like you're just turning in the knife, you know what I mean? Telling them like, ooh, we can do this, like we've got, and you can't, Yeah. So I think now that you do have that platform, you can actually be really helpful to a lot of women. Like I think a lot of women do agree with a lot of things that you said and men, but they don't necessarily like the delivery because it's just a little bit like, kind of like pissing off.
But it's an amazing platform to create because you won't believe how many racist little white...
I'm bringing that back. First of all, it's an amazing platform to create now.
But it's an amazing platform to create because you won't believe how many racist little white boys are now saying, I want a Muslim girl, I'll do.
Now she's calling white boys racist. I want a Muslim girl. Are you getting wind of this woman? This is a psychiatrist. So you're calling white boys racist now? First of all, I don't know many white boys that are just running around trying to get Muslims. I mean, proper Muslims, we can't even see. Okay, they're covered from head to toe. What is she talking about? How rude. Who talks like that? She's doing that because Andrew Tate is sitting across from her and she's trying to impress him. And she's confusing herself.
White boys are now saying, "I want a Muslim girl, I'll do. I want a," and I'm like, "Oh, look, you completely eradicated Islamophobia." And it's something like Mo Salah did for a little while in Liverpool. Like they really actually became. And I think anything that, from my perspective, anything that can draw light to a faith that I feel really passionate about, I'm always grateful for whoever shines a torch on that. So
I won't even say it's young white boys, because if you go to Russia, the men are the same as me, same as us, like Russia, East Europe. These kind of places, they're very alpha male, they're very old school, traditional. So I think it's not just the white race, it's pockets of the country where, like you said, this agenda's being pushed. US, UK.
Yeah, but these are completely failed nations. They're completely failed society. If you look at by any metric you can measure a society, whether it's birth rate, crime rate, happiness index, safety, like literally anything you can name, these societies are failing daily. They're getting worse. They're decaying empires on every single level, and it's no coincidence that obviously the men and women aren't acting right, and that's all messed up.
Look at the body language. First of all, I don't know what Andrew Tate. Look at the two people. Look at the redhead and the host, TK Talk. They are just looking at the two of them like, what? Like, what are you guys talking? Like, what is? He's looking at him like, what the hell is going on here? Like, who are you? I mean, you're like a whole different person because this woman is sitting across from you and she's just totally seducing you somehow with her looks, like Rollo Tomasi said, her big breasts and her soothing voice and God only knows what else. I mean, this is mind-boggling.
Look at by any metric you can measure a society, whether it's birth rate, crime rate, happiness index, safety, like literally anything you can name, these societies are failing daily. They're getting worse. They're decaying empires on every single level, and it's no coincidence that obviously the men and women aren't acting right, and that's all messed up. It's actually it's kind of funny for me because every time I meet women who are attractive physically, they're like, oh yeah, Andrew, he's not big deals with that. The women who hate me are whenever you show, when someone does a video on Andrew Tate, I can look at the thumbnail and go, she likes me. She's hot.
Yeah.
She's fine.
Do you know what?
Buddies love.
She's like, I hope he's talking about me right now. I'm praying he's talking about me. I mean, this woman is like the Little Mermaid. She's like, a whole new world, a new horizon. Andrew Tate, will he love me so? Oh, does he know? I mean, that's literally what this woman is. It's just ridiculous.
The video on Andrew Tate, I can look at the thumbnail and go, she likes me. She's hot. She's fine.
Do you know what?
Buddies love me. It's always some troll.
But do you know what it is? Attractive women get an insight into a lifestyle that unattractive women are unaware that even exists. So when
this gets better and better. Did you just hear what she said? She said attractive women get an insight to a lifestyle that unattractive women have never seen. Let me bring that back.
She's fine.
Do you know what?
Buddies love me. It's always some troll.
But do you know what it is? Attractive women get an insight into a lifestyle that unattractive women are unaware that even exists. So when they say things like, "Oh, we spend and we look after our women," they've never accessed that, so they think that's misogyny. And it's like, no, honey, it's amazing. Trust me. So they don't understand what it looks like, and therefore they come at it with negativity. But I do think appearance plays a role, both men and women. When I see red pill men that hate women, it's always
this is a completely different woman that was on the Pearls podcast, that the clip that Rollo Tomasi was playing, on Access Vegas. Who is that? Where did that woman go? Andrew Tate's in front of you, and now you're adopting every ideology that he's created, and I don't get it. She's out of her mind.
On computer games and this, that, and the other. Whereas when I see people like you who actually, you can tell you love women. And part of being an alpha man, you love women.
We love good women.
Good women. Yeah, you love good women. You can tell you guys love women. There's no hate towards women. It's just this is how life is. But when you meet the people that
look at this girl, these two are just like, this is like a double date. It's like they're on a double date, and these two are miserable in back of them. Look at the faces. This girl is looking at her like, are you out of your mind? Like, what the heck are you talking about? And look at her body language. It's just nuts.
Love good women. You can tell you guys love women. There's no hate towards women.
Now they love women. Now there's no hate towards women. Fresh and Fit and Myron, okay, who's on Fresh and Fit, that's Myron, who we looked at earlier, says the exact same things as Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate and Myron on Fresh and Fit are synonymous. Their ideologies are exactly the same. How could she feel that Myron is just the scum of the earth, but Andrew Tate is a god? Does that make sense? I think she actually needs a psychiatrist. That's what I think.
It's just this is how life is. But when you meet the people that hate men or that hate women, it's because they've faced a lot of rejection. And the best way to deal with rejection is to minimize the thing that's rejecting you, so they end up just hating the opposite.
That's it. And I also understand what you're saying also about some of my fans can misunderstand what I say.
Yeah.
Now he's throwing his own fans under the bus. I mean, what has this turned into? This is like, she's like Brooke Burke now on the red carpet working for E. I mean, is this an E interview now? Is she like gonna have a bathing suit on next and go through a zip line and Andrew Tate's gonna be with her and they're gonna be like, hello, we're getting married. I mean, what are we gonna have, the wedding episode next? This is absolutely insane.
Yeah, but it's okay. You know, same with anybody.
I mean, when I wrote the article, honestly, like the article is called "What's So Wrong About Andrew Tate," and a lot of people were like, you know what? We thought we were gonna get pissed off by the end of the article, but we actually really liked it. Like, we don't really like Andrew, but now we're kind of like, okay, he's not pissing us off as much.
How do you feel about being so famous at the moment?
You've survived cancellation.
Yeah, how does it feel being famous?
Saying that guy's got a sniper bullet in that
How does it feel being that? Because the thing is, most people who...
Now she's interviewing him. I'm telling you, she's like Brooke Burke now. She's interviewing him again. And he's just giving no pushback. Like, I've never seen him act like this. It's crazy.
Become famous usually through a sport or which you did, but maybe sport or acting. So there's a long way coming to.
Okay, for those of you who don't know, he is also, I think, a UFC fighter. So that's also part of his fame. Okay, a very good one.
Because the thing is, most people who become famous usually through a sport or which you did, but maybe sport or acting. So there's a long way coming to it. When it's social media, it can be overnight. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, it's a good question. In regards to people disliking me, like you're saying, getting to the end of the article, not really disliking me, in my experience, I've never had a single person see me in person and say a single bad thing ever.
Well, we're witnessing that right now, aren't we?
Every single man, woman, everyone just is positive. There's some lifestyle changes. I don't go out the house very much. It's a bit of a headache.
Yeah.
But I didn't do it to become famous like that.
Yeah.
But I do feel a massive responsibility. Like when I was saying a lot of my more crazy things, I was saying the same ideas in a more crazy way. But now I understand with a much larger platform, you must be responsible with it. Even like you were saying about fans taking things out of context, etc. So I try and be a little bit more responsible with it while not selling out and getting my point across.
Of course.
I just feel a sense of responsibility mainly.
Well, you're in a position where you can actually create homes in people's lives now. Yeah, and so with that, you can actually make a really important difference.
Yeah.
Now he can make a difference. So explain this to me. How is it that Andrew Tate can make a difference, but Fresh and Fit cannot? Can someone explain this? Any logic here? Not a single thing that's come out of this woman's mouth this entire episode has made one bit of sense.
I didn't set out to change the world, but I kind of feel like I'm
here now.
Yeah. So very careful.
Listen to how she's talking. You're here now. You're changing my world. A whole new world. I mean, are you getting this? Don't forget who you are listening to. This is the same woman that was saying, well, it's, men just F your feelings and, you can't just throw them aside and all of this and all of that and
pressure on you.
Be careful with what you say, but this is why I push the idea of masculine excellence. And when I do say things like, Big G can do what he wants, I'm talking about Big G. I'm not talking about dude. I'm talking about dude.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of emails. I get over 10,000 emails a day, and I get emails from people going, I'm just a normal guy. What do I do? And then you're a normal dude. You can't play by the rules we're even discussing.
Just live a normal life. Just live a normal life.
Right? Yeah. And he goes, well, I don't want this life. I said, well, then you have to become an important man.
Yeah.
And it's exceptionally difficult to do, but that's the road that has to be
I would always argue that there's so much beauty in having a normal, simple life, because those without options tend to be more satisfied with what they get. It's kind of like when you go to a restaurant, there's so many options, you don't like whatever. But when it's
Did you hear that? This woman is beyond disrespectful. No psychiatrist on earth would ever speak this way. Let me bring that back.
exceptionally difficult to do, but that's the road
But you
that
know,
has to be
I would
trodden
always
for me.
argue that there's so much beauty in having a normal, simple life, because those without options tend to be more satisfied with what they get. It's kind of like when you go to a restaurant, there's so many options, you don't like whatever. But when it's a home-cooked meal, just one meal, you're always more satisfied. So people without options are actually in a privileged position. You don't have to try and be this person. It's not always greener. Being limited means that you're more satisfied. So
being limited means that you're more satisfied. Do you understand what an elitist this woman is? This woman is the definition of elitist. She feels that she is here and everybody else is down there. That's why she feels she's above everyone. That's why she feels that she could just do and say what she wants. I'm a psychologist. I went to college. I have a degree. Yes, I have a son at home, but I'm going to tell you that the nuclear family is important and a man shouldn't be doing this and a man shouldn't be doing that, but my man can. He can do whatever he wants. I mean, are you seeing what I'm saying here? This woman is delusional. She's nuts. She's dangerous, actually. Because the crazy thing is, think about this. This woman has 600,000 followers, okay? And she's giving these women terrible advice. Terrible advice. She's lying to them. She's massaging their ego, telling them exactly what they want to hear. Meanwhile, none of the advice that she's giving, she's taking for herself. You see what I mean?
Enjoy it.
In many ways, yes, I can.
Yeah,
but that's, again, that's harder with society.
It's easier said than done. Yeah, it's easier.
The pressure that's on men is immense.
Okay, so I have one more clip for you. And this is a clip of Sadia on Pearl's podcast again, speaking of the biggest rapper in the world currently right now. His name is Drake. Now, this is going to prove to you, okay, that she is a groupie, because it doesn't matter if it's Andrew Tate, Drake, Brad Pitt, or other. She's an elitist, and she's nothing but a groupie, okay? Let's get into this.
I think for me, if I'm dating a guy and I see that his ex was, maybe had a really promiscuous past, I can't fuck with him. Because you got standards that aren't my level.
So, you hear what she just said? She can't date a guy that has a promiscuous past. Okay? Let me just put it in perspective with you. Drake just had a baby with some stripper. Okay? That's all I'll say.
Standards that aren't my level. Because you'll go for anyone then. And I lose.
But I think in Brady's case, like she...
Yeah, there's a lot of girls that...
For me,
that won't date Drake now. Because
I wouldn't date a guy that's been with a certain girl, because I'm just like, that's your level, because that's...
She wouldn't date a guy that's been with a certain girl because that's, beneath her. So in other words, if somebody was dating a stripper or a prostitute or OnlyFans prostitute or whatever, she would never date that guy because that's beneath her level. Don't forget what she just said.
With a certain girl, because I'm just like, that's your level, because that's your level. You
wouldn't date Drake?
I don't know if Drake would date me.
That's not what
Are you getting this? Drake has slept with everyone. He's done everything, okay? He has a child with a stripper. Now, she's not sure because maybe Drake might be watching. So I don't know. I don't know if Drake would date me. A minute ago, you said it would be beneath you to date somebody that was dating a stripper or somebody like that, right? That's Drake. But now you're being asked on a podcast that has millions of viewers and you're not sure. Really? Look at this. Look at her face. She's like, oh, I don't know if he'd date me. I mean, look at their body language. This woman is a fraud.
You wouldn't date Drake?
I don't know if Drake would date me.
That's not what I see. And that was all I needed to know. That was all I needed to know.
Listen, that's all he needed to know. Exactly.
Oh, no. Why you had a guy? See, you just explained. No.
I'm joking. He just proved my point.
No, but it's you know what? It's okay because
because you like the thing about us here is
Dating Drake, no, okay. Personally, I don't think any woman. It depends what kind of woman she is, but personally, if you're a woman that's looking for a long-term relationship, there's no point dating Drake.
So
no, but that's not you saying I wouldn't date him. You're saying I wouldn't date him because he's not looking for something serious.
Thank you, Pearl. Because she wants to make sure she can get a ring on her finger so that, she can get that status, that clout, because she's a groupie. That's all she is. This woman is a groupie.
I wouldn't date him because it makes no sense to. It would just be a body count.
long term.
Well, you see, that's
more entrenched in your cultural values, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. You're not saying I wouldn't date him. You're saying I wouldn't date him because he wouldn't take me long term.
I wouldn't date anyone where I can't see that person settling down and creating a life with me. Why would I date you?
But the reason why Drake is probably a bad boy is because he's going to tell you.
But hold on. Why are you a single mother? Where's your husband? Where's your child? While you're off here on all these OnlyFans on trial podcasts. I mean, you're running around from whorehouse to whorehouse arguing with these men. Where's your child? Women, you cannot listen to people like this. You just can't.
Long term.
I wouldn't date anyone where I can't see that person settling down and creating a life with me. Why would I date you?
But the reason why Drake is probably a bad boy is because he's going to tell you that he's going to be there for the long term and you're going to believe it.
Yeah, and she's one of the ones that would believe it. Believe me, she probably left with Andrew Tate that night. We'll probably hear about that later.
Even Drake's baby mama was a porn star and stuff. To me, that makes him lose value.
She even knows that Drake's baby mama. And excuse me, I gave her more credit than was deserved. She wasn't a stripper. She was a porn star. A porn star. A porn star. But Drake wouldn't date you, and you wouldn't date him because there was no chance of a long-term relationship? Okay.
No, but you still would date him, so he didn't lose too much value.
You see that?
You're going to believe it.
But even Drake's baby mama was a porn star and stuff. To me, that makes him lose value.
No, but you still would date him, so he didn't lose too much value. No, and that's the thing. Like, yeah.
But this is why, this is why I used to think a lot like you. Yeah. But this is why, a lot of times men will say, "Don't take dating advice from women because we don't even know what we want."
This was so entertaining. Thank you, Access Vegas, for introducing me to this fake Oprah, this literal faux psychiatrist. Now, look, I have a quote here that I found from Rollo Tomasi that I feel is very appropriate, okay? And this is a quote. Women will gladly overlook character flaws or a lack of assets in favor of, I'm not going to use the word, sleeping with the physical alpha male while she approaches her own sexual apex. I have nothing more to say. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. I'll see you next time for the next OnlyFans on trial. I'm Dubrava. Take care.